Welcome to my YouTube channel, Pyrography Made Easy. I'm Brenda. In this tutorial episode, I'm going to explain how to create my Jingle Bells Christmas postcard artwork. This is the third installment in my Christmas postcard series, and I love the metallic look of the bells. Surprisingly, they are a lot less complicated to create than they look. During the tutorial, there will be terms I use like pull-away strokes. If you are unfamiliar with my terminology, in the comments below I put a link to a tutorial that explains them. There is a written tutorial and a pattern on my website for this artwork. The written tutorial will cover a few items that I'm not going to cover here, like prepping the wood. Instead, we will start after the trace lines have been burned in. The jingle bells will be the first thing we work on. The bells are created by using 4 colors: dark brown, brown, tan, and ultra pale tan. Each color is burned to a uniform or solid color, and we'll begin with the dark brown. Well, let's get to work. This photo shows the dark bands that we will burn on the right side of the jingle bell. Begin by burning the dark band on the far right. Make sure to keep the pin tip in optimal position while burning along the edges. Burn along the top of the bell and then burn along the bottom edge. Next, fill in the band with dark brown color. Make sure to leave a thin pale line on the lip where the bell flares out. Finish filling in the band. I used uniform strokes for the majority of the work, but occasionally I use circular motion. I want to point out that I never use circular motion along the edges of a band, as it's just too easy to burn past the line. I'm currently burning the portion of the bell top that is brown in color. You can burn this now or wait until we start the brown bands section of the tutorial. Keep in mind that the goal is to create a smooth, uniform dark brown color that doesn't have any texture to it. Use whatever burn method is easiest for you to accomplish this goal. One of the most important aspects of creating art is discovering what works best for you. The last thing that we will do in this step is to finish the bell top by burning in the tan section. Again, you can do this now or wait until the tan section occurs in the tutorial. This photo shows the bands that we will burn to a brown color on the bell. Burn in the 2 brown bands, making sure to keep the pin tip in optimal position while burning along edges. Again, the goal is to create a solid uniform color. If you haven't burned the brown section at the top of the bell yet, now is the time to take care of it. Here's the photo showing all of the tan bands that need to get burned in. Start with the left band and burn it to a uniform texture-free tan color. After you are done with the first band, burn the tan band located to the right. This is a quick reminder to burn in the top of the bell if you haven't done so already. Lastly, burn in the small circular area on the right side of the bell lip. Here's the photo showing the 2 ultra pale tan bands that need to get burned in. With this large remaining band, burn a tan shade along the bottom and let it fade to pale tan. Also, burn along the top of the band so that it too is tan in color. This photo shows the dark brown, brown, and tan bands for the left bell. I worked mostly right to left instead of by color on this bell. Begin by darkly burning along the right edge of the bell, and then burn in the small dark brown band just to the left of it. Afterwards, burn the round spots on the bell lip. Continue to burn in the bands on the left bell. Consult the color guide before starting any band to make sure of its proper color. The goal with the bands of color is to create uniform tones that look smooth and texture-free. I used uniform strokes to accomplish this, but if you have another burn method that you prefer, please use it. Also, remember to keep the pen tip in optimal position when burning along edges. Crisp, clean edges, combined with high contrast, are the reasons the bells look metallic. What I think is important to point out with this bell is that you don't have to follow the steps in the exact same way to get the same results. With the left bell, I mostly worked right to left, whereas the right bell, I burned in all of one color before moving on. Obviously, both methods work, and how you choose to burn in the bands is a matter of personal preference. Begin by burning along the upper edge of the bell lip. Then darkly burn the right side of the lip. Next, use pull-away strokes to fade that color. Also, burn pull-away strokes along the left side of the lip and then use uniform strokes to burn the rest of the lip to a uniform tan color. Burn the area around the bell clapper. Use pull-away strokes along the right edge and fade the strokes at the reflection spot. The reflection spot that I'm referring to is marked by the black arrow in this photo. Lightly burn over the clapper and then continue to build up the color on the inside of the bell. Use pull-away strokes along the left side, pulling the stroke towards the center. Repeat this process along the right side. I thought I was done with the bells, but critically looking at them, I felt the left bell didn't have enough contrast. To fix this, I am reburning over a few of the bands to make them dark brown. I also darkened up the sides along the inside of the bell. Lastly, darken up the right side of the bell clapper and burn a dark line along the bottom of the clapper. This photo shows the finished bells. Hopefully you were amazed as I was at how wonderfully metallic the bells look. The next thing we will work on is the bow. Unlike the bells, the bow requires gradient color to get its curved shape. I used a combination of burn methods to achieve the look, so let's see what needs to happen. Begin by burning a dark line along the bottom of the bow center. Then, burn pull-away strokes along the bottom of the center. Repeat these steps along the top of the bow center. Burn a dark line on the bow tails right under the left and right bow loops. Darkly burn the left bow tail, leaving a thin pell line along the right edge. Use dark pull-away strokes to fill in the tail so that it is medium to dark brown in color. Make sure to leave the area just above the fork in the tail a few shades paler, as this will create the illusion of a bend in the tail. With the left bow loop, first darkly burn along the crease lines, and then burn along the upper edge of the loop. Next, burn short pull-away strokes along the left edge of the loop. Now fill in the rest of the bow with uniform strokes, building up the color until it is a rich shade of brown. Use circular motion along the crease lines to thicken and darken the area. Afterwards, resume building up the color on the rest of the bow loop using uniform strokes. Do the same steps with the right bow tail that were done with the left one. Make sure to keep the color the same as the left tail. Keep the bend above the tail fork a few shades lighter than the rest of the tail to give it the illusion of bending. The right loop on the bow should be burned in the same fashion as the left loop. Burn the creases dark, burn pull-away strokes along the right edge, and build up the color on the rest of the bow using uniform strokes. Again, make sure to keep the color the same as the left bow loop. Here's how the artwork looks so far. Now we need to burn in the beaded garland using pull-away stroke burn method. Let's burn in those beads. We'll start with the 2 cat eye beads. Begin by burning along the edges of the beads. Next, burn short pull-away strokes along the edges. Repeatedly burn the pull-away strokes to build up the color on the bead, but leave the center the palest area on the bead. With the small round beads, burn in the lower half of the bead. Make sure to leave a pale band along the center. Rotate the wood if needed, and burn along the upper half of the bead. Lastly, burn over the center of the bead. The rest of the beads get the same treatment we did on the small round beads. Fill in the lower half of the bead. I find it's easier to do this for all of the beads before doing the next step. Rotate the wood and then fill in the top portion of the bead. At this point, I lightly burned over the center of each bead before moving on. Lastly, burn a super thin dark line between each bead. The last step is the background snowflakes. I purposely kept the snowflakes very pale as I wanted them to be an accent. After the initial burning of the trace lines, I didn't do anything more with them. I will mention that I think that they would look great with a touch of glitter or metallic paint. As I was evaluating my artwork, I decided I wanted a few more snowflakes in the background, so that's what we'll do in this step. Let's get this project finished up. To create extra snowflakes, use the pattern to trace additional snowflakes in new areas on the board. Next, lightly burn them in and, if desired, accent them with a little glitter or metallic paint. That's it! We are all done. Jingle Bells is one of my favorite Christmas postcards, and I love the metallic look of the bells. In the remarks below, I've provided a link to my website, Pyrography Made Easy. The website has the written tutorial and a free pattern for this artwork. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to my channel. I have a new video every Tuesday, and at least once a month, if not more often, I post a tutorial video. See you next week.